So now that you have your kit, let's talk about how to assemble it. These are the parts that come in the kit. The flue plate, the lid with a chimney stub attached to it, and then the expanded metal. What you'll have to provide yourself is an 8-inch diameter duct cap. That'll look like this. 8-inch diameter duct. That will look, well, typically before you cut it, it'll look like this. And a 55-gallon drill. Tools that you'll need are a grinder or something else with which to pierce this metal initially. You can either use just wire cutters or an actual heavier duty version called a nibbler, rated for, this is about 20 gauge. I use some stuff rated for 18 gauge, and that's always been adequate. Something with which to mark the metal, and that's about it. Oh, and hand protection. So we'll set aside our lid and flue plate for now and work on modifying the barrel. There are 1 or 2 modifications that need to occur to the barrel. If you have a barrel that has both ends on it, you're going to have to just cut off the full end on one side. However, we only need to do 1 modification on this one. We don't have to do that because the barrel that we got already has 1 end fully removed. So this is going to be our top, and this is going to be our bottom. When we're finished, it's going to look like this. We leave a little bit of a lip to which our expanded metal can then rest upon when the barrel's right side up. So take the actual disc of expanded metal that you get and set it on the top to get a feel for how far into your barrel you're going to be able to cut while you still leave enough of a lip. Now, we're fortunate on this one. If we basically just do a very slight lip, that's going to be adequate for this expanded metal. If you aren't using a nibbler, see my edge, if I just nibble along the sides, keeping it, lots of barrels will have 1 or more lines on them. So this has, I don't know if you can see it, but this has a line on it. If I just keep the edge of my nibbler on that line, I'll end up with a lip that's perfect, just a little larger than we actually need. So go ahead, and whether you're using a drill bit, or you could even use, you could use some hand tools to do this. Really, you're going to want a drill or a grinder. Go ahead and pierce the base. The size of this piercing is going to vary based on what type of tool you're going to use to cut. Got adequate space for that. So I'll start off with the hand tool. If you use this, it's going to be a lot slower, but it certainly will work. What you're going to want to do is basically do like a compound cut, where for every 1 you cut forward, you have to cut 1 to the side to make enough room for your cut. You go back and cut forward, 1 to the side. You can see it's going to be a little time consuming. If you have it or can borrow it, you can instead use a nibbler. Okay.
Heavy duty cleaner?
Yeah.
For bathtub back there?
It's way overkill for that, but go ahead. Just use a little bit.
That's just all we have.
Ta-da! Barrel modification complete. And if you want, you can weld it on as well. You don't really need to. You just need to be careful you don't hit yourself with expanded metal when you turn it over. I'm going to go ahead and weld this in. And again, it's not necessary. Just kind of want a bit more stable of a design. complete. Your lid will come like this, with the flue plate already attached. Go ahead and set it on the barrel. You want to center it so that during the burns the barrel's covered. And now we can fit our chimney on it. Duct pipe's really thin, and it's a good tight fit, so you'll have to maneuver it a little. Usually what I do is I put the seam on first, this seam right here, and work around the there it is, and then you'll have a nice tight fit. If you buy this in a store, sometimes they'll cut it for you. It's 8-inch duct pipe. Usually it comes in a full 5-foot length. We cut it down to 2.5 feet for our units that ship. That way it fits inside of the actual drum for shipment. This is a duct cap, 8-inch duct cap. If it's not at your local hardware store, it's at a local HVAC store, or you can contact us and we can recommend where to get it online. That will fit on nicely. And there you go. You're now ready to dig your hole in the ground, load with char, and burn. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your kiln.